Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday. Man, I said that way too cheerfully, huh? You know, before we get into it, it is so funny. People wake up and they're like, nothing happened over the weekend. Hey, the market seems humdrum and dry. And it's funny, I look at the analytics and there's so much going on. I am super pumped. We are going to get into it. Give a like, give a share, tell your friends what's going on here. We're about to run through the market with commentary that nobody asked for, but I give it anyway. Some of it is way off base. You know what? Let's be honest. Most of it is way off base. But that is the wonderful and terrible thing of live streaming, is that you can do whatever the fuck you want. So that is how we're doing this. Man, I hope you guys are having a good Monday. I hope the weekend was good. I'm taking a swig of coffee, that last little bit of energy juice, just to get that, just to keep that oil in the machine percolating, everything. All right. It is about time. I got to push a couple buttons and make sure some things are working. Let's kick it off. No, you didn't. You guys did not tune in on Monday. And that is one of the wonderful things about recording this podcast, is I'm not actually looking at the stream. So the fact that nobody is tuned in, it makes me happy. But people tune in on the podcast, so I am going to deliver you some information that I think is super important, that I think everybody needs to know about. Okay, so a couple things. We have Bitcoin's recent breakout against the M1 money supply. Analysts are looking at this saying the parabolic surge is coming. Bitcoin does not have a lot of these in the yearly market cycle. They are usually, 12 or 13 days. Maybe the number is 14 days a year. Bitcoin has these really aggressive movements. Some are predicting that this is going to be the movement, the big old green candle that we have all been waiting for. Basically, the M1 money supply refers to the most liquid forms of money in the economy. It includes physical currencies, bills and coins, checking accounts, deposits. Essentially, it is the money available and ready to spend by the consumers. The breakout, in technical analysis, a breakout is a price movement that signifies a potential shift in the trend. So when we're looking at this stack up of the money supply, we look at some of the public sentiment around it. We look at some of the press that it's getting. We look at some of the government interactions that are being looked upon not in a good light. We look at the presidential race that's heating up, coming in November. All of these things are lining up for some possible parabolic movement. And if you ask me, it is going to be parabolic in the green zone, not in the red zone. So Alice is right, and I have mixed reviews about my thought on technical analysis. Some people say it's horoscope and things like that for men. I think there is some interesting things that technical analysis brings. I do look at it. I do the Bollinger Bands. I do all the stuff. But I have almost found that in crypto, in this meme coin cycle, in this mimetic world that we're living in, the technical analysis becomes increasingly difficult on the way we used to do things, looking at historical data, predicting future outcomes. The information lies on social media, and it happens so quickly. And this is something that is really difficult to chart, because you don't know when somebody is going to make a wrong move, tweet something they shouldn't have, introduce something to the equation that was otherwise not anticipated. All of these cards that can be pulled out at any point make it so dynamic, which is why the technical analysis sometimes falls short of that. The dynamic stuff happens live on Spaces. You're in a space at 3 a.m. talking to a celebrity about a coin they launched, and there is going to be movement the minute something is said that is pro or negative toward that coin, and the movement happens so quickly and swiftly. So understanding the sentiment and the public view of what's happening is really important. But when you stack it up against the M1 supply, people are ready to jump, and people, it looks like, are ready to make investments. Many people ask me if I had money and wanted to invest in one thing, what would you do? The easy answer is always Bitcoin. The better answer is you need to diversify. So I'm not even going to get into that now, but we are looking and talking about Bitcoin at the moment. I think it is getting ready to do some shifting to the good. So we were hoping for this parabolic movement post-halving. It's kind of settled down, maneuvered around. Ethereum has stolen some of the attention span. Meme coins have taken away from the anticipated movement we might have seen. We're seeing some crazy stuff just happened with Berkshire Hathaway. It happened within the last, I don't know. It happened today. I think that stock is down dramatically. I just caught the tail end of it. I was not able to deep dive into it because I was doing this shit. But there's interesting stuff on the horizon that is going to, in my view, make Bitcoin look like the asset to be associated with. So it's always a good thing to have in your pocketbook. Chaos to clarity, noise to narrative. It is Monday, June 3rd, and it is time for some rare bits. And before we get into more news that caught my attention, we are going to get through some numbers for the nerds. And as always, I always start the show off. We are looking at the mempool, watching the Bitcoin mempool hard at work. Currently, Bitcoin on the mempool is priced at $69,436. We are seeing the miners hard at work. We are looking now at the heat map for our ecosystem, and Bitcoin is is green, which is really nice. Ethereum has turned negative. We are looking at the 1 day. And just while we're here, I'm gonna pop it over to the 1 hour, and there it is. Sentiment looks really good on the 1 hour. Almost everything is green. This makes me happy. When we look at some of the Bitcoin technical analysis as far as the oscillators, the summary, and the moving averages, these are great tools to keep in your pocketbook to look at when you are deciding when do I want to purchase Bitcoin. In short, there's no bad time to purchase Bitcoin. Though, with that being said, if you are new to the ecosystem, it is really difficult if somebody says, hey, buy Bitcoin, and you spend $10,000 on Bitcoin and the price drops by $10,000. That can leave a sourpuss face on your mug. And the idea is you need to decide, are you a long-term investor and short-term investor? What are your horizons for making this investment in Bitcoin? If you are doing anything longer than 6 months, 12 months, Bitcoin is just going to be a wonderful thing. The moving averages state just that. On the monthly moving average to look at purchasing Bitcoin, it is a super strong buy. There's 1 sell, 1 neutral, and 11 buy signals, just signaling it is time to get on board with some fun stuff, aka Bitcoin. When we are looking at the numbers, we are talking about Bitcoin trading at $69,405. Ethereum has slid below the $4,000 mark, trading at $3,785, and BNB. We started charting this in my podcast around, it was just actually south of 300, and it is trading at 626. 600 is this magic psychological number with BNB. I think a lot of the troubles associated with that, and CZ, who's now officially in the Who Scout, I think the troubles are behind him. I see good things happening for BNB. I want to see Solana start kicking up dust and catch up in the tailwind of BNB. Solana is currently trading at 164. Again, keep in mind, Solana is up 638% on the 1 year mark, and you cannot complain about that. The last thing I'm going to touch on is the number 10 spot. So this spot is a coveted spot in the top crypto collections. It is coveted for a number of reasons. One, because it is usually Cardano, Shiba Inu, Avalanche. It's even been Solana down as far as number 10. But these, one being in the top 10 is a big deal as we get into any sort of dry cycle in the crypto market, because people are going to gravitate toward the big coins because they're safer. So currently 10, Notcoin, it has just been on fire. A lot of it is off of its interaction with the Telegram network. If you are not familiar with that, read my Substack. There are a bunch of ways that Notcoin has worked its way into the fabric of the Telegram ecosystem. And anytime you have a messaging app that is worldwide and you have now easy usage and trade, just easy usage of a currency, it becomes magic. There are incentives for new people to try this technology to see what is happening. Those incentives, AKA, are dollars in your pocket just for working in the ecosystem. So keep these things in mind as you are looking at what is going on. When we look at blockchains by NFT sales volume, currently today, Ethereum is at the top of the heap. This, again, has been a really interesting race watching these duke it out for not only the 1, 2, and 3 spot, but actually the top 5 spots. So Ethereum is winning the race today, followed by Bitcoin, Solana, Immutable, and Polygon. Everybody is trying to push their gaming initiatives, trying to garner the attention from the overall market. Who do you think will win? Please leave that in the comments. I will not read any of them. Ethereum is up 20% on the 24 hours. They did about $5.3 million worth of trading. Bitcoin did 4.1, up 26%. And the Salami crew is back in action, up 17%, trading about $3 million. Looking at some notable sales in the art world. Again, a lot of movement on the Chromie squiggles, which is really nice to see. We have some Fidenzas, some Rafik. There's some interesting stuff. If this floats your boat, in my view, we are getting into this zone where things are bottoming out for the art market. This is my view as only. And so some of these collections that we think will stand the test of time, that you think have resilience, it might be a good time to start putting these in the vault for a long-term play, especially if you actually like the artwork and you want to get it framed and put on your wall to be a reminder that you have a digital asset just accruing value in the background. Now we are looking at the Ethereum heat map, and this top left spot changes all the time. Azuki is commanding the position, pole position at the moment, which is nice to see. It was a crazy day. We had Milady Makers up there. We've had a bunch of people rallying for that pole position, and it currently changes. It looks like Azuki is running the roost. Ooh, what are we talking about on the Ethereum side of things? I said the sales were up for Ethereum about, let me just double check. Ethereum sales are up 20% on the 24 hours. That does not always mean positive price action. So what are we talking about? Azuki, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Pudgy Penguins, and CryptoPunks rounding out the top 5s. It appears that everybody's floor price is down a smidgen. That could also be because Ethereum is toying with going up and down, and nobody can decide what the fuck is going on. Looking at some of the Ethereum high movers, we have some beautiful CryptoPunks at Fidenza by Tyler Hobbs. A pudgy penguin with a fish on his head. What? A pudgy penguin with a fish on his head for 15 Ethereum. That is $57,000. Then followed behind the Bored Apes. It is interesting to see these pudgy penguins cracking a swacker, throwing a knockdown KO punch on the Bored Apes. Will it continue? Who will win the race? Everybody is vying for that pole position. Looking at the top hot movers creating a heat map signature on the Salami, AKA Solana side of things. We have some green for the, some red for the Mad Lads. Some other people are seeing some green. Let's see who's moving and kicking around dust. Mutemon, SMB Gen 2, Famous Fox Federation, Soul, SPL 20s, and Mad Lads rounding out the top 5. It looks like floor prices are down just a touch here and there. We do have quite a bit of activity on Mutemon. Again, I just want to point out what activity down means. So Mutemon seems to be the trade favorite where people are doing shenanigans. I'm not going to ask. I don't want to know. But there have been 5,200 trades on that collection. Anytime there is that type of volume without the floor price moving, people are trading it for some reason, and I don't know why. But 5,202 trades over the last 24 hours. When we are in the heat of just things flying around, we were looking at the Frogianas doing, I think on one of their higher days, they were doing about 14,400 trades every 24 hours. And keep in mind, this is followed by like a 10,000 day, a 13,000 trade day, a 14,000, 12,000, just this stack of days, all in excess of 10,000 trades per 24 hours. So you can see that we are down drastically across the board. But we do still have some people spending the high dollars on the beautiful artwork of the Mad Lads. And look at that. We even had D-God sneak in there to the number 11 spot. Mad Lads, it looks like they are trading. The floor looks to be around the 60 mark, while the high end is trading in the 80s. We had a D-God sneak in for about 28 salamis. That is about 4,700 US dollars. Looking at the top 5 movers on the Bitcoin ecosystem, we have Node Monkeys, Frux, Bitcoin Puppets, Runestones, and Blob. Say it again, Blob. So we have been commenting and watching the Frux. So it's interesting. We saw those at 400. We saw those at 600. And I posted on the timeline, I purchased one of these the other day. And so over the weekend, again, I was listening to public sentiment and just kind of what was happening with some of the celebrity tokens. And I bought into the hype, and I was able to turn, I don't know, 150 bucks into more than that. And I got to a point and I decided I want to get out of these tokens, and I did. And I got out of the tokens, and I was actually in, I think, Rich, which was put up by Rich the Kid. I did not get in any Mayweather. I did not do any DeVito. I did Mother and Whiff, which I lost on because Whiff happened to go down in this time frame. So I lost on Whiff. I did well on Mother, and I did well on Rich. So I decided at some point over the weekend, I wanted to get out of those tokens and go back into NFTs, which is absolutely absurd. Like, tokens seem to have that 1000x, but they also have this weird gamble associated with it. That's also in the NFTs, but here's the difference. These shitcoin tokens, I feel like I can't go to sleep with them sometimes, right? They're in your wallet and you're like, fuck, if I need a good 6-7 hours sleep, I might wake up and everything's at zero. And I am not in a position to have that happen. So it seemed like a stupid play, but at the time I thought it was a smart play. So I got out of these particular tokens. I changed everything over to Bitcoin, and my intention was just to sit on that because I believe that this parabolic move is going to come for Bitcoin. But then, per my Substack and per these updates, Frux kind of caught my attention, and I decided to go ahead and take all the Bitcoin that I had on this particular wallet and purchase a Frux. So I got in the Frux at about, I don't know, 850 bucks. And that was yesterday. And now they're up to about $1,700, which is marvelous. And even more interesting, there have been 887 trades in the last 24 hours with 20 pending. And if you follow the show and kind of what we do, these pendings are big numbers. The sales for 24 hours are also big numbers. Now, the funny thing about Frux, they're trading at $1,700. When I looked at them, this was a mint that was $60, and I missed it. It didn't hit my radar till about 400 bucks. I was like, it's too expensive. Continue to go up, 800, 900. That's around the time that I decided to buy in, and my thought was it's too expensive. But it has continued to move up. When I look at the overall dynamics, I look at what they're doing on the timeline, the interactions that they're creating, the number of sales, almost 900 in the last 24 hours with 20 pending, lets me know that I made a correct choice. I would even consider 1,700 not a bad entry price because I do see this going up. We look at Bitcoin puppets that are currently trading in 10,000. These Bitcoin puppets were quite a bit higher than that. I look at the Frux having the ability to steal some of the wind out of the sail of the Bitcoin puppets. I'm just making a call. Do not follow anything that I do clearly. Like, look at me. But I'm just sharing exactly what I did. I posted this on the timeline. My exit on Frux is probably going to be around $5-6 grand. Will it hit there? I don't know. That's just what I am hoping. When I look at some of the top moving Bitcoin collections in the last, who knows how long it's been, Node Monkeys are ruling the roost. They're trading for about half a Bitcoin, AKA, well, this one sold for, 0.637 Bitcoin, AKA $43,946. It's funny. I do this. I do a horn when I take a sip of coffee, and sometimes on my podcast, because people are sometimes listening, not watching. I forget that they have no idea what I'm doing. So If I'm blowing the horn, it's because I'm taking a sip of coffee. Coffee digested. Thank you, guys. So OMBs are also up in there. We have some quantum cats. It's nice to see these collections just continuing to do the business. Now, let's get into some of the runes. The top runes are Fihu, Doggo to the Moon, Arsic, Genesis Runes, Pup Worldwide, and Epic, 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 Epic. So who's doing what? Everybody's in the green except Epic and Arsic. They're down about 6 and 8% respectively. Doggo to the Moon they're about flat for the 24 hours, but Leonidas continues to kick up dust. I think these are going to do well. I did not buy in at the bottom. I am still sitting on the sideline waiting to watch. But I do see some interesting stuff happening with this. So I like to share what is going on in the space. Now, looking at some of the top meme coin crazy shit, we had a token launch on Ethereum called GameStop. It's currently up 943%. Feels good, man. FGM is the ticker. It is on Ethereum, 146,000 market cap right now. It's up 800%. These are just the recent big movers. Roaring Kitty on Solana is up 395% with an 11 million market cap. And then just the giant volume movers. We have Pepe, Dog with Hat, Arbitrum, Ondo, Jasmine Coin, Gala, Brett, and Pendle rounding out about the top 7 or 8. And just the big losers, we have Based Father, Pepe and a Meme, Based USA, Scop Token. I don't even know why I'm reading these off. What I am trying to point out is that somebody comes up with a good idea and instantly there will be all of these derivative tokens that pop up. Be careful where you put your money. The mood and the shift happens so quickly. You cannot chart this stuff. Technically, you need to chart it on the spot, listening to what the people are saying. So that is where the social stuff comes into play. Now we have Notcoin. It is a Telegram-based clicker game. It surged to $1 billion market cap after introducing its earnings mission, AKA it basically released, we're handing out free money. So people are absolutely jazzed about it. It is the narrative behind this is by no means done. So we are just going to keep it going. And then, and I snuck this in, Fortnite, the new season is just crazy, right? From the vehicles with the cow grills and all the stuff and the turret rockets on top. It's just absolutely awesome. Let me know what you guys think. Again, put it in the comments. I will not read them. We are looking at some crazy shit with the Ethereum balance on exchanges. You know, we are just getting into this time period where I don't know, there's going to be these parabolic movements. I think Bitcoin is poised for one. I think Ethereum has a really interesting, growing narrative behind it that is worth watching. And what am I trying to get at? You know what? I have moved all of my stories around, and I don't know why. I don't know why. But in a nutshell, I will say, I'm going to run through these stories. I am. I'm just going to do them in the way that I wrote them this morning. And for some reason, whatever happened to my Substack, it is not lining up. Anyway, so we have Hamster Kombat. They announced plans to launch a token. This is also an open token on the TON network, TON. Again, this is going to happen on the Telegram stuff. All of these push button games are gaining traction. Are you involved with any tokens that are on these messaging apps? Basically, if you think about it, the WeChat, which is overseas, it is used as the everything app. Which app do you guys think will become the everything app, where we use it for payment rails, we use it for identification, we use it for insurance, we use it for talking with our friends, leaving reviews, posting our videos? Do you think we will have a one-stop shop platform that becomes the hub of all our activities? And I remember a time before Google when we did not have a one-stop shop where your homepage was like a Yahoo page, or you could do your personal page and design it and have your news articles, but it eventually was replaced by Google, right? Google becomes you open up the web and most people's homepage is just the Google search browser. Is that going to change to a chat search browser? And possibly it already has. But we are going to have an app, the first thing that you look at when you wake up in the morning on your device, whether it's a phone or whatever it will be in the future. Your first look device, what platform will that be? Who is developing it? Who will lead the way? Overseas, it seems to be WeChat for so many. Do we have a contender in the United States? Is Elon on his way to building that? Again, leave it in the comments. I will not read any of it. We have Aptos blockchain experiencing a transaction surge due to a cat game. All you have to do is tickle to earn. You earn heart tokens. How many people? 115 million transactions in a day. Again, these are these push a button and make money games that are on your phone. They are available. People are experimenting with new forms of interaction. The old field of advertising, marketing, it is almost all irrelevant. It's almost gone. It's almost out the window. They are looking for new ways to touch users and create call to action. If you can get people to push buttons, granted you're paying them, but that is a call to action where they are on your platform clocking hours and hours and hours of loggable data that is actionable data for the future. They are going to be able to build ideas off of this data. It is amazing to see this stuff transpire in real time. We have the Sandbox game. They have introduced a DAO allowing sand token holders to vote on whether they want to keep it pixels or move on to something more high resolution. I'm absolutely kidding, but the Sand DAO is real. So if you are a holder in that ecosystem and want to have voting rights and participate, you now have the option to do that. They have, is it a big deal? Yeah, there's about an $11 million budget that they are working with. So there will be initiatives and things that come out of this DAO. So DAOs are not dead. DAOs are just about to start kicking off. I also think we are going to see an influx in DAO participation once we get Ethereum to really kick into high gear. It's going to offer some different DeFi protocols and things that we don't have in the ecosystem now. I think DAOs are going to play into that heavily. Next up, we have Ethereum. Okay, so I was talking about the Ethereum. We had about 3 billion leave exchanges, basically get into pockets because people are holding on for the long haul. It is going to do a couple things. One, it signifies that people are thinking Ethereum is about to go up. Two, it removes liquidity from the ecosystem, making everything more valuable. So these movements make me super happy. One of the analysts that I follow, his name is Tech Dev. He is predicting also a just bullish Bitcoin rally. He is looking at historical patterns, which I do not like to do, especially in cycles like this. But he is thinking we are going to go to all-time highs. We both arrive at the same conclusion for different reasons. So doesn't matter what you put in your pipe. Just smoke the Bitcoin pipe, man. Smoke the Bitcoin pipe. Solana, it looks like it is facing... is it a stall? Is it some trouble? It has some resistance around 166. Right now, I think we need to get past about 172 to really start rallying strong. Do we see that happening? You know what? And let's check on the price right now while I have you guys on the phone right now. So our current price on Salamis is 164, right? We've already dropped below our 166 resistance. This was a chart that I did this morning at about 5:30 this morning. So the fact that we just dropped below that lets me know that we could drop a little more. My new bottom is about 155 before we see some correction. So I was hoping we would get more toward the upside, but at the moment, it does not look like we are doing that. We have the Origin protocol. If you guys are not familiar with this, Josh Frazier, he is basically all jazzed up on different DeFi aspects of the ecosystem, including liquid staking, yield generation. He again is in the camp that DeFi is just going to blossom moving forward. We are just getting started with the application, the protocols, the things we are going to be able to do when everything is on the blockchain. It is nice to see Josh so bullish about this and make some moves. And also he is moving toward this multi-chain, better user experience, AKA the good user experience is called omni-chain. And you don't know what's happening in the back end. Most users don't want to know and they don't care. Make it simple, make it digestible, and you will have a client base immediately. Robinhood supposedly has decided to impose some buying restrictions on the old GameStop amid speculation around Keith Gill, AKA, you know who he is. I don't need to get into it. But there's just, people are market makers, and you can't be a market maker if you're not part of the establishment. And Roaring Kitty is not part of the establishment. So when that MFer starts to roar, people just shut the tap off and say, nope, we're going to put that little fun you had on the sideline. We're going to put you in a timeout so we can figure out what the fuck you're doing, because we don't know how you're doing it. So again, this is maybe not a direct example, but to me, it's another example of you can't follow the technical analysis. You need to follow the public sentiment that is happening on the timeline. Keith Gill posted an Uno reverse card and all hell broke loose. Read about it in my Substack. We have Cristiano Ronaldo. He has quadrupled down and just released his 4th NFT collection, even though he is in the hot seat facing allegations, litigations, all kinds of shit. I think he is going to be fine. The secret sauce for today is challenges are stepping stones, not roadblocks. Embrace them to reach new heights. Still craving crypto clarity? Subscribe to my Substack today. Warning, rare bets may cause hodling.